Well, with Ronan the Accuser dead, and everything wrong with the world destroyed, you all have me to thank for this glorious utopia that you all exist in, one of equality, prosperity, and true happiness. But I must leave you now, for there are other planets, other worlds out there that need Captain Marvel Brie Larson to save them. Goodbye, and I don't know if I'll return.
Wow. What a bitch.
Hey! Guys! Guys! She didn't destroy the cinema! And the lead is still playing!
I have no shame admitting I was biased going into this movie, but I was willing to give it a fair go, and to let it impress me. That is what I thought going into Captain Marvel, and what did I get instead? I got something that I just did not like at all. I won't say this is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, but it is definitely the worst Marvel film I have ever, and more than likely, will ever see. Like almost every beginning Marvel film that's been made so far, this is an origin story telling us the beginnings of Captain Marvel as a character, while also kind of explaining why she wasn't around for Avengers, Age of Ultron, or even Infinity War until, well, just about now. And it's taking particular inspiration from the 2014 reboot that has been cancelled at least 4 or 5 times due to low sales, yet keeps getting rebooted for some reason. Now, I can't comment on what they adapted from the stories, but I do know they actually adapted some elements from a certain Marvel event called Secret Wars or Secret Invasion. And in that regard, they actually did a really good job. They managed to show off some solid writing chops and give us a narrative twist that is actually on par with M. Night Shyamalan. I'll actually spoil part of the twist, but not entirely. Turns out the villains aren't who you think they are. And on top of that, the movie is also well made, and it does add to the wider lore of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is appreciative, absolutely. But it doesn't help when the movie is just so bland and uninspired. I mean, if you thought that Thor's first film was very, well, unoriginal or bland in terms of story, this is just even blander. In fact, it just feels like they kind of copied not only Thor, but Iron Man and Incredible Hulk all together at once, just give us the most unoriginal story ever. I mean, this takes place in the 1990s. They had a great opportunity to do what they did with Thor Ragnarok. That was stylized to be like 80s media. They took inspiration from 80s music, 80s sci-fi. So I was kind of thinking, okay, maybe they'll actually stylize Captain Marvel after 90s films, like, say, off the top of my head, Batman and Robin, or even borrow certain elements from films like The Last Action Hero, give us something truly unique. But no, instead it's just shot like, well, Iron Man or Iron Man 2, which sucks, to be honest. And of course, if you've been following this movie, you know it's been going through a bit of a PR nightmare, thanks to the lead actress Brie Larson going on about how this is going to be her activism, her political activism. Now, thankfully, unlike the 2016 Ghostbusters reboot, this doesn't swallow that type of activism and give us, you know, just absolute crap, but it is there, and the scenes that actually embrace it, yeah, they're actually the worst parts of the movie, and it even ruins some really solid scenes. In particular, there's a really well done fight scene between Captain Marvel and these villains in the third act, and the song they chose for it just completely ruins it. They play No Doubt's Just a Girl, and it is just pure cringe, I've got to be honest. But getting back to Brie Larson herself, she was not the right choice to play this character at all. She has no charisma, no presence, and really, she doesn't really give anything to the character. She's just bland, forgetful, and unremarkable in every way, other than she wears a red, blue, and yellow suit and can shoot energy beams from her arms. That's it. Her most remarkable things are her costume and her powers. Not her personality or the performance, which is not a good sign of... In fact, it's a great indication of the biggest problem the movie has. It's boring and not funny. I was legitimately just waiting for this movie to end, and I did see other people in the audience laugh at the jokes, but to me, I just did not find them enjoyable at all. In fact, I even found them to be really depreciative of Nick Fury. Like, he is in this movie a younger version of himself, still played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Jackson gives a solid performance, but the humour he's always the butt of the jokes when it comes to the humour, and in a lot of ways it is really depreciative of his character. Like, they tried to make him into this comic relief sidekick, and considering what we saw in the other films that take place long after this, it really does throw shade on his character. I know I've been negative about this movie, and to be honest, it isn't bad, but it's just average, painfully average. There is nothing remarkable about this movie whatsoever outside of, well, one narrative twist, but that's not enough to salvage this movie from being anything other than average. If you're a hardcore Marvel fan, you are going to feel cheated by this movie and genuinely angry that this character is being set up as the biggest part of Avengers Endgame. But if you're an everyday moviegoer, I can say this with absolute confidence. Feel free to skip Captain Marvel and just go see Alita Battle Angel instead, because if you have to see a movie with a female lead, you may as well see one that's an absolute passion project and fun as can be. I'm not lying.
Hey, if you guys dislike this video because Marvel paid you to, I understand, you need the money, but if you really did like it, then could you at least subscribe? It would really help me out. And for the next movie review, it's gonna be of Lego Movie 2, then after that, Unicorn Store. Lord give me strength as I try to get through the Valley of the Shadow of Brie Larson. And for gaming videos, I've actually got a First Impressions of Darksiders 3 coming out next, and I've also got a review of Generation Zero in the works. I've got all that and more coming up, so like always, stick around.